Joining me at the Carolina Tennis Center is head coach Kevin Epley. The women's tennis team just wrapping up practice here. Coach, wanted to ask you about sort of rewinding back to the beginning of the fall a little bit. We talked about sort of what your team was focusing on. You talk a lot about culture and just sort of the foundational principles that are Gamecock tennis. Now that you're here in November, I guess I'm wondering where, what the focus is now. Is it becoming more tactical? Is it strategy? Is it still things related to culture? Just what are the high points you're hitting on with this team right now?
In a lot of ways, it is still culture, to be honest. Gamecock culture is hard to achieve, but people are making strides in individual cases. Simple things like body language and, getting the ball in the court a lot of times, those kind of things, work ethic, discipline, toughness. We're still pushing those boundaries because those are the foundation of a winning team. We are working on certainly some things tactically as well. We've been spending a lot of time working on our volleying the last few weeks, transition and so on, trying to make sure that we can access that next spring. That just takes some time. We've been working a little bit more on fitness, on court fitness, kind of ramping it up as the season goes on into this break, trying to get as much momentum as we can. We've had a couple competitions at this point, so we know where we are, as I mentioned before, relative to other teams, and we still got to get everybody on the same page, doing the same thing and fighting for the same cause. So we're still endeavoring to achieve that.
Talking about leadership a little bit, with this team, I mean, you have everybody back from last year. You still have, Mia and Sylvia here. Are they kind of the leaders of this team, just given the amount of time they've put in with this program? Or are there other people on this team? Maybe you had a lot of freshmen last year who were sophomores now. I mean, are you seeing any of them sort of step up maybe into kind of a leadership role?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year in particular, the three older girls definitely stepped into that role. Mia was instrumental in pushing the standards pretty far early, but we had a big gap with the younger kids and the older kids, and getting everybody on board in a way that was kind of that everybody felt like this was a welcoming place for each other, even though we're pushing standards. That's been a bit of a challenge, just because there were so many freshmen last year. We definitely have some leadership coming out of a few of the younger ones, particularly Emma. She's moving into that role. She's really on court showing big strides this year already. She's done a great job this fall, getting herself together in some of these matches and showing she can play with the best and doing well with her attitude mentally. I mean, that's what we continue to work on with her. She's every week getting better and better with that, and that's helpful. Again, we just got to get everybody together and gelling and holding each other accountable to the same items, and people are in just different stages of that, so we'll get it done. That's what we do.
Well, last question for you, just kind of looking back a little bit now at this fall, and the two competitions you had in practice, starting up there in the middle of September. Who is there anybody you've seen that's sort of made some pretty big strides maybe from then to now, or anybody that surprised you? Just who's sort of come on strong that you've seen this fall?
Gosh, I mean, getting Sylvia back playing last week was good. I mean, she's been struggling a lot with injuries. I would say that the way she played her last match against Georgia was about as well as I've ever seen her played, and which is good because she'd been, she hadn't had that many matches with the injuries and the knee surgery and so on. That was good. Again, Emma's coming along pretty well. Sort of as this semester's going on, it's just continues on that ascent. Unfortunately, we have a few injuries that we're contending with. We were dealing with them today a little bit, and some of the younger ones have been a surprise. Starting to work hard and look pretty good and hold their own. So, it's the end of the fall for all practical purposes. We have two kids at a national tournament now. and we may have an event in a few weeks that would be unattached, but we gotta make sure we keep improving over Christmas break, so we're ready to go.
All right, head coach Kevin Epley, appreciate you joining me out here, and we'll check in again with you soon.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.